Let's talk about starting a worship team from scratch. I often get this question from worship leaders at church plants or church planters themselves. Where do I start? How do I find people? I don't know what to do. And I've been a part of a couple of church plants now and have been tasked with finding musicians and building a team a handful of times. And so I can speak into that just a little bit. The place to start, really, and it's going to sound kind of cliche because we're looking for a worship team, but start with prayer. And I know you want some more practical advice than that, and I'll give you some other practical things. But listen, I talked with a pastor one time who said, Caleb, I looked for a drummer for years. For like 5 years, this church was searching for a drummer. And the pastor said one day I was complaining to another pastor friend about this. And he said, well, have you prayed about it? And the pastor said, well, I don't know that I've actually prayed about it. So his friend said, well, why don't you go home and pray about it? And so he prayed about it, and the next week a drummer showed up. So don't take the prayer element out of building your worship team. God, if you ask God to bring the people in, God will likely bring the people in. So, be praying for a team. Be praying for the instruments that you're looking for the vocalists, for the leaders, all of that. Now, after you've prayed, God may start bringing people in. And so here is what to look for. So start by just talking with everyone in your church. Get to know everybody in the church. And listen to me, it doesn't matter whether you are in a church of 25 people or a church of 2,500 people. Chances are someone in your church has had a piano lesson or a guitar lesson or sang in choir in high school. And those are all skills that you can use. And so find out about people's musical backgrounds. You don't know how many times I have just been chatting with someone who I've known for a year or more and found out, oh, he plays bass. Oh, he's a drummer. The first time I was building a worship team, it was me and a singer and a bass player. And we were just kind of screwing around. And we're rehearsing one morning. And there was a kid who showed up. He'd been in the youth group for a couple of years, and he showed up. He was sitting there listening to us play, and there was a curtain behind us and a drum set behind that. And between songs, he happened to ask, "What's behind the curtain?" I said, "Oh, that's a drum kit, and we don't have anybody to play." He said, "Well, I play drums." I had known this guy. The students on stage had known this guy, and we didn't know that he played the drums. And he started playing with us, and it was awesome. So. Ask people, talk to people about their musical background, find out, because chances are somebody has done something. So many people have taken piano lessons, guitar lessons, or sang in a choir. So definitely try that out. The next thing I would say is if you have chatted with everyone, you can't get anybody to jump on the team, ask a friend from outside the church to come in once in a while. Now, don't do this constantly. Don't do this all the time. Don't try to build your team from outside people. But maybe you're a vocalist and say, I really need a musician with me. And so maybe have someone once a month come in and play guitar with you or come in and play piano with you and kind of show your church what could be and what's missing. That's a great way to get people to go, oh, I could do that once in a while. Because sometimes people don't realize that there is an opportunity for them to step up and use their gifts. And that's another thing to do. Make sure that you present the opportunity to people. Make sure people know. Bring it up in conversation. If you have a church bulletin, put it there. Put it on social media. Hey, we're interested in bringing people onto the worship team. Put it out everywhere. Make people know. Let people know that there is a need and that their gifts can be used. I'd also say if you have a youth group, if you have a student ministry, if you have a college ministry, look there. A lot of times high school students and college students play an instrument and they would love a place to play and its opportunity to pour into the next generation. Don't count people out because of their age. One of the best drummers I've ever played with on a worship team was 15 years old, and he grew up playing the drums. He started very, very early, and that's why he was so good. But man, it was awesome every time I got to play with this kid, and he outplayed just about everybody else that I've played with, and I loved it. So don't discount students because of their age. Look there. The last thing I would say is this: if you have had anyone kind of ask in the past about getting involved, tap on those shoulders again. I had a conversation earlier this week with someone who said, well, I had a couple of people want to get involved in the past, but they weren't very skilled, and so I didn't jump on that. So we'll tap on those shoulders again. And don't tell them, hey, you're going to be on stage next week. Say, hey, I'd love to start working together to see if maybe you can minister in this way, to see if maybe we can develop your skill set, to see if you are a good fit, and just put it like this, and start with just worshiping together. Go and worship together. And then if you see, oh man, I didn't know they had this skill, tap into that skill, ask them about it, develop it, and move forward. But if you try those things, you will begin to build a worship team. Always keep an eye out for people, always keep an ear out for people, always be searching, be on the hunt. And then if once you build a worship team, you can get other people to do that too. That becomes the job of your entire worship team. Hey, always be asking, always be looking for other musicians, other worshipers, other people to join this team, to join this ministry, because ministry is a team sport. It's done so much better together. Hey, if you have any questions or comments about what we've talked about today, leave a comment or send me an email. I'd love to connect with you.